Hey guys, it's Seth and Paul for Everything Money. On today's show, we talk about how to start investing, whether you're 18, 35, or 50, to get a retirement account through Fidelity, through Schwab, and you can do this yourself with our help, with Paul's tutelage. And Paul, you are very insightful with saving money, how it compounds, and how you can retire with it.
Am I?
You are. Join the Everything Money channel on YouTube, baby, and let's rock this bitch.
You know what that's from?
It's the final.
No, but what's this?
No, I don't know.
It's from Arrested Development.
Oh, I don't remember.
Job. He walks in on this song and he's always pumping.
Paul, you advise people to be on top of their money on a daily basis. In fact, I had a small mishap recently. Where
This is the best.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice if I was on top of my money better.
Oh, they're gonna accuse me if it'd been nice if you told me to do something. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
No. Oh yeah, it would have been nice
You know
if you
what?
would have
Spring
reminded
water
me.
sucks. FYI, can we not get spring water?
Oh my god. Hashtag privileged.
Okay, we need to get, no, seriously, it tastes like slime. It tastes like Vaseline.
How can people get started? I have friends, and I'm fearful for them, Paul, because some of them are moving on 38 years old, and they haven't actually thought about retirement, or maybe had not had the funds, means, or education.
Everybody has the funds and means to
everybody?
save. Everybody.
Well, that's pretty broad.
And no, I'm going to tell you it's everybody.
Everybody. I took some advice from some folks who are a little bit older and wiser than me many, many years ago, and I have a nice stockpile of a retirement saved up now.
Mm-hmm.
What can I'd like to give me your thoughts about entrusting your money with a financial planner versus doing it yourself?
I feel like most financial planners are, how do I put this delicately?
Good people.
Full of shit.
That's the opposite of what I was thinking about.
No offense, no disrespect.
Why do you say that, Paul?
Well, I've never met a financial planner I go, oh yeah, this person really understands investing. With that said, it is nice to have a financial planner there who hopefully calms you down when things are scary.
Mm-hmm. Like this past few months.
Well, the fear is gone now. We're just up and away.
Everything's
Last
great.
night at one point, the Dow was pre-market down 400, and then within an hour, I texted somebody and said Dow is down 400. Like, no, it's not. I looked, it was up like 70. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's fine. But you can do the investing part yourself. Opening an IRA is very easy. Go to Schwab, E-Trade, any one of these number of reputable online brokerages.
Would you consider all of them pretty much to be the same? Schwab,
Yeah,
Fidelity.
listen, I've never looked into them to see what the exact differences are, but
I use Fidelity and I love it.
why do you love it?
The app is easy. I can make trades on my phone. Fidelity was one of the last ones that switched over to free trades.
Yeah.
It used to be $5. So if you literally wanted to buy a $20 stock, you had to pay $5 for the transaction, but they got rid of that.
Well, $20 worth of stock.
Yeah, or I mean, what I say,
You don't pay $50. If you don't pay $5 for every share you buy.
You do. You used to.
No, not every share, every trade.
Yeah, trade. But
Well, if you buy 100 shares, it's still $5.
It is, yes. But like if I was in small peanuts or just starting, if you bought one share.
Well, I think you should have $1,000 at least to start on these things.
You think that's a good start?
Yeah, I think so, because I think you can buy a few shares of SPY and some other broad-based.
What is SPY again?
It's the
I know
S&P 500 ETF. It follows the S&P 500. I think the expense ratio is like 0.1%.
Okay, so you're already getting sort of confusing for people who don't know what to talk about. What is the S&P?
The S&P 500
top 500
is the 500 largest market cap companies in the country, and it's basically what I consider to be the market. I don't look at the Dow. I look at the S&P because it's 500 companies. The Dow is 30. The S&P is based on how big the companies are. The Dow is based on, I won't get into it right now.
So what's the biggest company in terms of billions?
Trillions. I think Microsoft, Apple, is Amazon now a $1 trillion company?
And then the bottom of the S&P is like $50 million a year companies?
Oh, no. It's like a few billion.
Still billions.
Yeah, it's still in the billions. And that's why you're getting bigger companies that have been around and less likely to go under, et cetera.
So you're saying, maybe is $1,000 even a year a good start if you have nothing?
Oh, listen, anything is better than zero.
Why? Well, that's obvious.
Most important is starting early. So if you're 38, don't worry about it. If you're 40, it's better to start. However, if you start when you're 22 and just save for 10 years and stop, you're going to have more money than if you started at age 32 and saved like double the amount.
Yeah, it's hard to comprehend. I think in that book you just gave me to read, which I'm still plowing through, which is really wonderful. I'm actually...
I would change the word plowing because it's been like 7 days and
Well,
it's like a 14-page book and you're still...
I'm plowing with a pig-drawn Amish plow as opposed to a tractor. It's sort of a small, slow pace.
You're on the $15 plow.
But regardless,
Yeah.
I've been telling my children this. The example is a person who's 19 saves $2,000 a year from 19 to 26 for a total of $14,000.
Yeah.
The second person doesn't start until they're 26 and saves $2,000 a year from 26 to retirement, almost 40 years. And the fact of the matter is, with compounding interest, the person who saved the first 7 years ends up with more money than the person who saved the last 40.
I have not verified yet. There are definite stats on that. I don't know if it's 7 years, 10 years, whatever the number is, but the bottom line is yes, earlier you start, the better because of compound interest. It is the gift that keeps on giving.
So I think in simplest terms, if you want to start planning for retirement, the easiest thing is this Roth IRA, right? The government regulated.
Because it's untouchable by creditors, so it goes in tax free. If you ever have to declare bankruptcy, they can't touch the money. You get
so
that.
The tax thing is confusing for people though. Like tax free means.
So let's say you make $70,000 a year.
Yep, I pay taxes on it, and I have money in my bank now.
So now, if you put $10,000 into your IRA or $6,000 your maximum, you're now taxed on $64,000, not $70,000 anymore.
Right.
It's pre-tax. So before, if you want to save $6,000, your $70,000 goes down to $50,000, then you save $6,000 from there. No, this is taking $6,000 off the $70,000, and then the government taxes you on $64,000.
Yeah.
So you save that money before you pay your taxes.
So like, if it still seems confusing, like I literally just send a check to Fidelity with my account number,
and it's a write-off.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like a donation.
They put it in.
Yep.
And then, without having a financial planner, I watch shows like this one. Like the button below for a moment of likeness.
We need we need you guys to like the button because it tells us what to do and all that crap. But also, I want to pay Seth and Don more money in the future.
So what do they say, Don? Smash the like button right below here. But so I literally just send it in, and then I now have to decide. It's sort of sitting there. Some of my cash is still sitting there, I'm still patiently waiting for the market.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm learning patience from you.
I have patience in investing, and pretty much that's it.
Yeah, well, you need more patience in poker.
I've been pretty good.
We'll get there. We'll get you there. But anyway, so it's your turn to invest. So you have said multiple times on this show, the Everything Money Show, that you think that EFTs are
ETFs.
Why do I keep saying that? We've gone over this before.
EFT is like some sort of money transfer. Like you EFT the money to people. ETF is this exchange traded fund.
Exchange traded fund.
Yes.
So ETFs.
If you want to EFT your money to me, that's fine. But if you want to go get retire, you want to buy ETFs or something.
So you're saying for normal people, ETFs is probably the safest.
I will just say some sort of broad-based index fund that's not actively managed. 70% of mutual funds do not beat the S&P on a yearly basis, and how many don't even beat over a long period of time? You just why fight? Why play the game? Just go put in an ETF, and it'll match the market pretty closely, and you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And so, literally, you just go on your Fidelity app or Schwab app, and then you collect what ETF you might like, whether it's Jets or SPY.
When you're a Jet, you're a Jet.
I'm in the Fidelity. Like for mine, I'm in this one where I like by age. It's a group. It's an ETF that changes the way it invests in terms of when I'm going to retire. So it's a little more actively.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to see it, but it just sounds like, to me, I'm thinking to myself, a marketing person sat there and said, got it. Wait, listen to me. We're going to do this by age. And people are going to be like, this is amazing.
Well, it is amazing. So,
yeah, exactly.
Well, it just sort of helps me say, okay, I'm going to retire at this date. Keep it in mind. And then you just.
When are you going to retire, Seth?
Well, this date says 45.
45 what?
2045.
Oh, I was thinking
not 45 years old. That would be in 6 years from now.
I was like, or 45 years from now. I'm like, we got to talk.
Yeah, so 2045 is
so
like
you'll
the target date.
Oh, you won't even be 65 yet. That'll be exciting.
Oh, maybe I chose the wrong one. So, I mean, that's a great start. So Beth and I, as a married couple, we do $12,000 a year.
That's great.
Which right off the, that's a good amount of savings per month. $900 a month or something,
Or $1,000 a month. 12,000 divided by 12.
Oh, whoops. Did you just hear me? I say that because it used to be like 55.
It used to be like 11,000.
Yeah, it just changed. So the math becomes a little more. Yeah. So, but go back to your thoughts about investment.
Save. And the other thing is, for those of you who have kids, please advise them that when they're 18 and they go to college, go get a job and save $50 a week. Just make them put it in a little account. Put $50 a week away. That's all you're going to have them do, and it'll do wonders for them. It'll be incredible. And they won't even remember the money. It's $50. It's nothing. It's literally not. Everybody in this country can make $50 extra in a week.
Yeah.
A homeless person can put a cup out and make $50 in donations to them every single week, right? Probably more than that, actually.
Yeah.
Saving is not the complicated part. It's the emotion that's complicated.
Talk about that.
When you see markets fall and go up and there's volatility and you go, oh my God. I remember having friends who said to me, I need to sell before my stocks go to zero. I'm like, if stocks go to zero, the last thing you should worry about is your money, because that means we're just like back in the Middle Ages. And I mean, it's not really true, but stocks are not going to zero ever. Until the world ends.
So you're saying the emotion of maybe seeing your money go up and down on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. I look at my stock account, I see plus this, minus that, plus this, minus that. And it's still hard for me, and I'm pretty disciplined about it. Mm-hmm. You know, it is what it is. And you got to sit there. And the reason I don't want people investing individually in stocks is you have to have an understanding of the stock, of the company so much that you sit there and say, oh, it's 20% lower today. I like that. That's a hard thing to do. It's very easy for me to do that in real estate, but for some reason, even for me in stocks, I go, okay, did I miss something here? So that's the hard part about saving and retirement. Your goal should be put the money into these ETFs and don't even think about it again. Just have it go over and over and over, and you'll wake up 30, 40 years from now and go, oh my God, look at this. Look at how much money I have.
We talked about, maybe just bringing this more to like a personal level. The one thing, Paul Donahue. Dude,
ready?
For our listeners online, Paul is doing the double-handed Trump water drinking.
That was the best. Did you see that, Don? Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yes. Who knew we'd be analyzing the president's water drinking habits? But
you Democrats,
it's hilarious. So, God, what the hell were we talking about, Paul? Before you took that awkward sip of water. So how would I say this? I advise young people that I meet, go-getters, to really think about this idea of savings, especially my own children.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I sort of had this deal. I have this standing deal with Gio, and I don't know if it's healthy, but I just sort of made it up. Like, if you need like a $5,000 or $6,000 car when you're turning 17, I would rather you invest the money and I'll buy you a car than you buy your car.
Listen, my dad, when we were younger, used to tell us every dollar you save between now and 22, I'll match it.
Oh.
How much are we saving?
Yeah. My 10-year-old has $2,000 that he's very
Which
proud
is more than I had at the age of 10. That's the point.
I think it's more than I had at 30.
You're probably right.
Now, again, folks, I didn't have a job until 30. I was getting a PhD, and so I was hardly living on PhD funds. My wife had a very small private Catholic school job.
What were you guys bringing in per month after taxes?
Well, I don't know my finances today, Paul, let alone what they were 10 years ago.
By the way, you're going to tell the story about... no, probably shouldn't tell a story.
No, it's okay. I remember I was...
I don't know my finances today.
I was an indentured servant at Ohio State, which I've come to find out... there's some shady stuff happening at these big universities where they're paying graduate students very, very low wages and sort of...
Why is that shady?
Well, they're saying that... I was just, reading more and more reports that they're saying that they're enticing people to come overseas there's a lot of foreign students at a lot of these major universities. They're enticing by what would seem to be a lot of money, but in essence, they're getting very low wage free work and rewarding them with PhDs, which at the end they still don't have a job and they don't. It's hard to get.
But why is that Ohio State's fault? You know me, I want to blame Ohio State for every ill in the world, but why is that Ohio State's fault? But in the end,
the person said, yes, I'll take it. Yeah, that's true. But regardless, so
we're going to move on from that topic after we.
I didn't have I didn't have any savings at all. I wish I would have seen this podcast or I had someone mentor me or tell me when I was 16, and it didn't happen in high school. Certainly didn't happen in college. Of course, I was taking art history 101, and
well, it's useful.
Yes, very much so. Oh, I can tell you all about Frida Kahlo and her paintings, and that's really helped me of late. But no one ever told me, nor there wasn't a YouTube, so. But I've been stressing my children like the idea of getting money in early. So I didn't.
But you know what the hardest part about saving is?
Go on.
You don't see it grow until very, very late in life. It's a seed that's planted, and you wait and you wait. And instead of it being a season, it's a freaking 30-year event. You know what I mean? 40-year event.
Yeah, so my first 6 years of real work, I made about between 60 when I started and 80 when I got let go. And I was
80?
I made 80 when I got let go.
Oh, okay. I thought you said like
80,
in 1980. I was like,
oh yeah, no. But I was saving about $25,000 a year for long-term retirement at that time.
Wow.
So that got me up to this number, which you and I have since sort of extrapolated in that when I retire, I could have upwards of $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $1 million, $1 million.
We got up to 10 or 11 if you did X, Y, and Z along with it. You know what I mean? Did a piece of real estate, did this, did that, and we could figure out a way to get you to 10 million. And you were like, oh.
Yeah, so the fact that I got
Does that help you to hear that?
Absolutely, because I was still because just going back to the point you said 2 seconds ago is it's not very clear. Like, what am I? I'm 39 years old with about $400,000 saved in long-term retirement.
Is it $400,000 or was it?
It is.
Oh, good for you, because it was $300,000 like 2 weeks ago.
I'm sorry, Beth and I consider us one person.
Well, you should.
Right.
And that doesn't include the Magic the Gathering cards?
No. Don't bring that up, Paul. No one wants to listen to that nonsense. But
nobody wants to listen to it, or you don't want to talk about it?
I mean, just for the sake of our listeners, like give it.
No, I think it's very relevant. Like, how many listeners out there might have something that they're like, oh, either way, we won't bring it up. But so you're sitting pretty well. Plus, you have a house that you're paying down in debt.
Yeah. That
you're going to own free and clear in 25, 30 years. As I told you, I think the path to $10 million isn't completely out of the realm of possibility.
So by having that conversation with you, or which again, if you're listening to the show and you want to have a conversation with Paul, that's certainly open. That's why we're making the show. If you have problems or if you have an aunt that wants to sell something, you better call Paul. But
one of our listeners has been emailing me, and in the last couple of days, and he didn't respond to my last email because I kind of, when you email me, my first response is probably going to be a question or two to you.
Yeah.
Because I want to sit there and see what's, everybody wants to email me. I get emails I get are, Paul, would you do this? Well, I can't just say yes or no. It's got to be, all right, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I encourage you to, most people after the third or fourth email just stop emailing back. And I look at it saying, hey, listen, I'm not doing it to be difficult. I'm doing it to understand you. And also, I find that when I ask questions of people, it gets them to think more. Yeah. And that's what we want. I want you to think more. I don't want to just give you answer.
Yes.
Because that's not going to teach it. I'm trying to teach you how to fish.
Teach a man to fish. And
I feed him for a lifetime.
Yes.
Help him retire. I've had droves of people email, and it usually stops. Most of them stop after one. I'm like, guys, I like the emails. Now, I'm not going to sit there and read your monologue that's going to be this long, but I'll sit there and say, hey, listen, what about this? What about this? What about this? Explain this to me. So yesterday, 2 days ago, the person asked me a question, and I responded with a question, and they went to pull the link on Investopedia about the definition. I'm like, I know what the definition, I know what this is. I'm asking you, why do you like this idea? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's that. I just look at it saying, I love the engagement. I love talking to people about it, but if I ask you questions, it's not meant to say, I'm not saying it to say you're wrong. I'm sitting there saying, hey, listen, if you said to me, Paul, I want to invest in a piece of real estate, well, I'd respond with, okay, why? Well, because you said something. No, that's not a reason why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Warren Buffett always gives this story about when the first stock he ever wanted to buy, one of the first ones, he was talking to somebody and said, well, and the guy said to him, why do you want to buy this? Well, because Ben Graham does. And he's like, well, That's not a reason to buy. And he always remembered that lesson. Like, that's not a reason to buy. I don't buy stock. In fact, I bought stocks when Warren Buffett said I'm not buying them anymore. So I look at these things saying I'm trying to engage people to think for themselves because there are multiple ways to skin a cat. There are multiple styles. My style works for me, but that might not be the style that works for you. Correct?
Yeah, I had been interested in some in real estate, sort of learning from you. And then this company came along that I bought, which I think I'm much better built for. Is like trying to market and build a company than change toilets and deal with tenants.
I've never changed a toilet in my entire life.
Well, a lot of our listeners will be changing the toilets in their first homes.
Or you could, and by the way, if I had to change a toilet, I'm quite sure I'd go to YouTube and say how to change a toilet, and I'd get it done. It says you can do this in 14 minutes, and 14 hours later, I'd probably have mine done.
That should be an Everything Money show, Paul changing a toilet. Stay tuned.
The over-under. We're going to take bets on the over-under and how long it actually takes.
We could race.
I could take a nap in the middle. Okay, I got the lid off. Is that what it's called? The lid?
Well, I know in your college days back in the early 2000s, you were doing upper deckers, taking the lid off and taking a dump in the back of it. I knew you were up to that.
I broke the handle on my toilet in my bathroom the other day. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So what'd I do?
You poop in the tub?
I just turn it myself until the new toilet, because I'm getting new toilets, so I'm like, why should I change the handle?
I assume you're changing the toilet yourself, but regardless,
I'm not changing.
You have convinced me that having about $400K.
Well, what's your age right now? What's your age again? What's my age again?
I'm 39.
Okay, so let's say you want to graduate. Let's say you want to retire at
65.
That's 25. That's 26 years. And let's say the market does 10% a year, which I think is going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard, but let's do that.
Okay. This is just the...
So your $400,000 alone is almost $5 million.
That's incredible.
Yeah, just that.
Yeah, that's incredible. That seems pretty well set. Now that's if...
Well, that's at 10% a year, which I don't think we're going to get 10% a year.
Now, did you add money in there?
No, that's not even including adding money in there.
So show that real quick.
All right, so let's add money in.
This is just a compounding interest calculator. So Paul's in...
It's called my calculator that I just know the equation for. It's Seth.
Oh, so Paul's putting in, 400, initial balance of 400. Say I only put in the 12,000 a year for Beth and I a year. No extra investments, just 12,000 over the next 26 years. Is it only 26, Paul?
Yes.
Yikes.
That's another $1.3 million. $1.3
million?
Yeah, so you're already at 6.5.
6.5. That's if nothing great happens.
That's if nothing great happens. That doesn't include your house you're going to pay off. It doesn't include any other. It doesn't include DGF. Doesn't include any of these things, because DGF you already paid for. So that $400,000 you have in your retirement accounts doesn't include DGF. Doesn't include Learn From Us. Doesn't include everything money. Doesn't include all these things you're going to do.
Yeah. Doesn't
include your income doubling and you're going to save more than $12,000 a year.
Yes.
All these things it doesn't include.
That's astounding.
It is astounding.
The things I hear is I don't have time for this.
If you don't have time for it, don't come crying when you're 70 years old and you have no savings.
Well, that's from 40 years from now. I mean, who's going to worry about crying then? I mean, I guess the point is I laugh.
What's the average age of our demographic? The people who listen to us. Is there a way to find out that, Don?
It's anywhere between mid to late 20s all the way to 52.
Don's saying mid-20s to 50s.
But I was saying, what's the average? So is the average our age?
The average, I would say, is somebody in their 30s.
30, yeah.
So people, this is exactly for you. And if you're in your 50s and you don't have savings, start now. Just realize you probably have to work a little bit longer. Maybe you have to do a part-time job when you're 70. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And there's other ways to beat the market that are, that book you're reading.
Riskier?
No.
Yes.
Yes, what?
I mean, I am agreeing with you. That's right.
I mean, it's not necessarily riskier. I mean, risk is all about price paid. It's just people don't beat the market because of themselves, not because it's hard to beat the market. It's because of the financial hazard. It's yourself. It's you. To beat the market, you have to go through periods of time where you don't beat the market, and you have to be okay with that. Some of the best methods I've seen to beat the market over a long haul, you might lose to the market for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do. For me, I don't care, because the last 5 years I haven't beaten the market at all, and I haven't even made money in stocks. So to me, okay, market's going up 15%, I'm going up 9%. All right, for 4 or 5 years. I still go up 9%.
Yeah.
Still pretty good to me.
It brought a lot of peace of mind knowing that the work that I did from like 30 to 36 can equate to multi-millions of dollars when I retire.
And you did that in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, had I started at 20, I mean, what would that number be?
Well, look at 10 years from now, how much better it'll be. You're so much better at business. Your business is more mature. You're making more money.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So that you were saying.
I always tell you, I'm telling you that as you get raises from us, you need to just put all that money towards retirement or something like that.
Yeah. Or blow it on Magic cards.
Magic the Gathering card.
Smash the like button for the Everything Money channel.
Please hit the like button so Seth can retire at 63 instead of 65.
Join your pals, your best pals, Seth and Paul, on a weekly basis.
Email me
At
paul@crossroads-group.com. That's paul@crossroads-group.com.
Send nudes.
Only of your smoke show. And I want you to realize that when I'm asking you questions back, it's not me saying you are dumb or you are wrong. It's just me trying to understand you and get you to think for yourself. Because I don't ever want to tell you that this is the only right path. That's the one thing I've learned in the last 10 years.
Thanks for your insight, Paul. Everything Money.
Now we're going to go create some whiteboard videos that are going to explain to people how to analyze their stocks.
Yeah. Subscribe below, like below, follow the channel. We'll be doing this forever. Thanks for joining us.